Thank you, Mr. Heyman.
There it is.
Well,
So let's talk.
We're on the road to Survivor Series War Games coming up. And this is iconically and historically one of the largest pay-per-views of the year. They used to call it the Big Four in the old days with like Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. So it's one of the pillars of WWF TV. And now the premium live event is coming in less than 2 weeks' time. And the card is coming together, but so far only 3 matches have been announced. So we don't have to go into the Survivor Series card. If you want, we can talk road to Survivor Series, but really the question is this: what are you enjoying about WWE TV currently?
Schmike, why don't you start us? We went on a little tirade together there for a bit, and you're the guest here. So what are you enjoying about WWE TV?
That was a nice tirade. I enjoyed listening to it. WWE TV, I don't get to watch a lot of it. I do get to watch the premium live events. I get to read the recaps for the most part on a lot of it, and then decide if I want to watch it or not. And so the only thing I really did enjoy was I heard that LA Knight, he called Jimmy Uso Janetti Uso. And
I haven't heard that. That's incredible.
I didn't know either. That's amazing.
I don't know if he did that or if the recapper did that or whatnot, but somebody did that and I loved it. And so that's my favorite thing going on right now. But I get really excited about things like the Survivor Series and the Big Four, like you said, Rusty. Those are the ones that you really they're my nostalgia. They're my childhood. So I look forward to that stuff.
I would say that you're right. That is like definitely like right up the childhood. I have longed for Survivor Series to have an identity again, by far, because it just hasn't for so long. And giving back War Games. What do you think, Schmike? The War Games format versus the traditional last Survivor match. Where are you at on those?
I think we should do both. I think there's room for both. I think you can have your War Games as your main event, because War Games is great. It's something fun. It brings in from the other place. It brings in some of the nostalgia from WCW that you don't get because they're now totally consumed by WWE. But you still need that. It was the whole idea of who the sole survivor was for each team back when I was younger. Who was gonna win what? And you know, when you had the Undertaker team up with the All-American team, and you're like, well, the Undertaker can't lose, but how's he gonna be the survivor? What's gonna happen? And then you do the count out with Yokozuna, and they're both eliminated, and you're like, that's how they do it. Okay. I think there's room for both. I think you can have your traditional sole survivor matches, do it for bragging rights, but in order to do that, you have to make the brands matter, which I think they're going in the right direction for. They're trying, at least. Got the GM thing going again, and that's fun, but make it mean something.
Yeah. That's good. Go ahead, Lee.
No, you're good. I was just saying, for me, brand warfare was never a key driver. In fact, I really don't like that. I loved it when it was like random characters got together and, the Hulkamaniacs fought the Doink Express, and you were like, what are these? Why are these guys together? But it was fun. It was that random pairing. And then you do have like Judgment Day and etc. But anyway,
it was really fun. It was really fun when we were kids and they were team captains and they had to like assemble a team, right? Like DiBiase would assemble a team of heels, or Hulk would assemble a team of the good guys to take them on. I think there's really a missed opportunity here to do a traditional Survivor Series, because think about this. You have the Bloodline, you have the LWO, You have the Judgment Day. You have Bobby Lashley's group, right? You have this, that alone, that could be 2 traditional Survivor Series matches with 4 great stables facing off. You could add a Team NXT females of the future against modern era females, which seem to not get enough airtime unless they're doing some absurd Nia squash match or something like that in Jeddah. So like there was a lot of room within the company to do a non-brand specific stable versus stable match. They're telling the story. This is writing itself right now, and yet they didn't choose to explore it, which is really, really weird for me. Imperium would have been another stable.
Yeah.
You know, like not only that, they could have done some recruiting or paired some tag teams together, like the New Day and Alpha Academy, you know, could have been just kind of like mega face team versus mega heel team, right? Like these are just obvious low-hanging fruit. Survivor Series, it's okay if it's a house show feel with like not a lot of title exchanges. It's a great opportunity to push up and coming talent. It's a great opportunity, kind of like King of the Ring style, to really get somebody over in a Survivor Series match.
I loved King of the Ring. I thought I loved when it was a pay-per-view. I thought it was a great idea. I'm big on tournaments, so I thought that was fun. Survivor Series this year, it seems like it's all about one guy that's not even signed a contract with them though, and the rest of it just kind of the rest of the whole, or at least what's been announced so far, seems like very obvious one-sided matches that, aside from War Games where you've got oh no, but again, War Games is all tied into that. Who is that one guy that Cody Rhodes has as his friend? And
so
was that a CM Punk tease? Is that what I'm trying to just keep up? Was you said
no?
One guy
That was a Randy Orton tease. I'm telling you right now. The Randy Orton tease.
I didn't catch that. I haven't heard that. What's the story with Orton?
Cody said, "I have friends too." And what was Cody's original stable when he came into WWE? He was part of with
Legacy,
Randy Orton and DiBiase Jr. And so
interesting.
Using the line of "I have friends too" is the double-edged sword that's making people want to tune in and see who the friends are, when the friends are either going to be CM Punk because TKO says, dude, shell out the money, these guys, we need CM Punk, and Triple H says, yeah, I can work with them, that's fine. Triple H can work with anybody if it's good for business. He's the guy that got Bruno Sammartino into the Hall of Fame by going over and talking to Bruno and saying, look, dude, let's bury this hatchet. You're part of history and you're important. Triple H is good at that. And all he's got to do is be willing to bury the hatchet with CM Punk, and CM Punk has to be willing to bury the hatchet and accept a lot of money. You guys talked about that last week too.
Right.
It's sure, I'll take the millions, and you're right, it will turn into a profitable thing for them. But Survivor Series in Chicago, opening up extra seats, they're building the anticipation for something that will end up being Randy Orton at the very last minute.
I think what if it's Seth? What if Seth's injury? What if the whole back injury backstory is actually just to drop him out of Survivor Series in a pre-show attack from the Judgment Day, and he can't go on. How are we going to fill this team? How are you going to replace Seth? And then that's your on. Maybe it's Randy Orton, maybe it's CM Punk, maybe, so suddenly they've actually told the story with some depth and complexity. So that's likely not going to happen, but it just seems like
that would be amazing booking though if it did, because you could have them announce Randy Orton as the guy right before so everybody thinks it's not CM Punk, it's Randy Orton. He's the friend, he's the fifth. So now you got that. And yeah, then at Survivor Series, you have Judgment Day take out Seth Rollins, and he just happens to be in Chicago and show up. That would be fun and unexpected, and it would give you everything. If you just have Randy Orton come out instead of CM Punk at this point, you're doing that whole Royal Rumble thing where Rey Mysterio came out instead of Daniel Bryan, and then everybody's throwing cups into your ring again.
Yeah. Blue Tista all over it again.
Oh,
and, yeah. So I saw something today that I thought was really pressing, because my question, you got there first. My question was going to be, if Randy Orton is the guy who comes through the curtain, do we have that Rey Mysterio at the Royal Rumble moment? But here's the thing I didn't even think about. One, I've never been super big on Randy Orton. He's never been my style, but there was a infographic thing made, and it said the last time Randy Orton wrestled, Dominic Mysterio was tagging with his father. Edge was leading the Judgment Day. Vince McMahon was in control of the company. And like, it just kept going down all this list of things that were like, this was there, this was there. Yeah, so it really put it into perspective. Like, Randy Orton has been gone for quite some time. And so that whole absent makes the heart grow fonder. I do think if Randy is the only return instead of CM Punk, that it's kind of like what we talked about with the in-game mistake here and stuff like that. People will be, all right, fine. They couldn't get CM Punk. I guess it'll be Randy Orton. And then they could definitely build up a good feud between Cody and Randy to give Cody more of a buffer to get to WrestleMania. But I think there's going to be a percentage of the player base, or of the watching base, viewer base, that goes, oh, it wasn't CM Punk. They're not going big enough. I'm out.
What if it's both? What if it's both?
Yeah.
And here's a hot take, basically like a theory, right? If you will. Now I'm assuming you've seen Raw. It's already Thursday. SmackDown is tomorrow night. So this is a spoiler. But Drew turned heel on Raw.
Yep.
And shook Rhea's hand. Is Drew the fifth in the War Games team? Is Drew
the fifth man?
Right? Like, so what if they expand the teams, right? So now we got 5v5. Judgment Day has an advantage. They're going to need another person. So they're going to need a fifth. They're going to be reaching. Now, what if they do the Seth attack pre-show? Right? So you're bouncing around this numbers game the whole time. Oh, now the face team gets a fifth. Oh, and then they lose one. Now what are they going to do? Going into the show, you're still wondering, is it going to be 5v4? You know, Orton has been announced, you know, so they don't embarrass themselves. And then, you know, during the match, Punk comes out and he's the fifth. I mean, that would be iconic moment.
That's exactly what I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were saying earlier. I'm assuming it's 5-on-5. I guess they haven't made that official announcement yet.
Yeah, we know nothing so far. The card is just 4-on-4. Even on the WWE, as it's telling the story on their website, which is subject to change. So,
hey, we're familiar with that. No, I assumed it was going to be 5-on-5, especially with the way that Drew came in and he is now the fifth member. I assume that their fifth member is going to be Randy Orton. And I think they need to announce that before Survivor Series so that it's not
right
the down at Survivor Series that it will be if Randy Orton comes out unannounced.
For the record, the Drew heel turn is my favorite thing that's happened on WWE TV. Like, it's the only thing that's actually surprised me. The Santos Escobar heel turn was very predictable. Everybody saw it coming. I almost thought Drew was going to operate as this anti-hero that was neither good nor bad. Kind of the modern Stone Cold effect. We're not quite. He's unpredictable. He's in it for himself. But this is a very clear heel turn, an alignment, and a handshake with Rhea. Wow. I kind of like Drew McIntyre is finally interesting again.
Yeah. And I think that pairing him with the Judgment Day, just think about how crazy it is. You know, back when Randy Orton was last year, the Judgment Day was this thing that we all rolled our eyes at and went, oh my gosh.
Right.
The days of spooky ooky promos are done. Edge being the Brood Lord is over. What are we doing here? And now fast forward, and they've legitimately been better than the Bloodline for a while. Bloodline was still probably the best story they've done in the last 5 years, but or aside from Becky Lynch becoming the man, but the Bloodline, was nowhere near as good as now as where Judgment Day is. Excuse me. And Drew McIntyre coming in, now you have this story to tell. Who's in charge? We all know it wasn't Dominic. He was never the guy in charge. Was it Finn? Was it Damien? Oh, really? It's Rhea, right? Rhea's pulling this, but now Drew comes in. He's a dominant personality, and they can start, if they want to do the disillusion of the Judgment Day, they can build that out. But they could also just surprise us all and just come right in and go, yeah, Rhea's in charge. Drew's the main guy. Finn and Damien are the tag team titles. Dominic's the Disco Inferno. We got it. And now for the next year, that's the status quo. That would be interesting.
What do you do with Senior Money in the Bank then?
He loses the case to Cody Rhodes. He loses the briefcase so that Cody can finish the story and cash in on Roman freaking Reigns.
He gifts it to Dominic, and as soon as Cody finishes the story, Dominic wins the title and the world explodes.
I hate you so much right now. I hate you so much. That is trash. That is McMahon era trash. So it might actually happen. And that's why I hate you so much, because there's a possibility that scenario could actually happen. That's why it's so terrible, and I fear it.
Wow.
Well, take us home,
so right
Lee.
now, Survivor Series is a one-match card. Hopefully this week they figure that out. Next week, holiday week, all that kind of stuff, maybe they'll get their stuff together, and we'll see. But anyway, Schmike, before we go, one last plug for the Big Three family there, and then I'll give us the end credits.
Well, there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on. Seriously, it was a blast. I've listened to you guys do this thing since before you guys even came over to Toxic Mafia. So I'm really happy that you guys could have me on here. Happy to be a part of it, and happy to watch you guys keep getting continued success. You guys are doing amazing, and thank you. But yeah, Toxic Mafia, Mafia City, Super Mafia Bros. That's our group. We are all perfectly fun factions. We look forward to growing ourselves up the rankings and seeing how high we can get without having to do a ton of work and forcing a ton of minimums on people. Have fun with the game. That is the goal. Have fun with the game. Have fun with the people you play the game with. Communicate and just find some enjoyment in this world through a mobile app that sometimes wants to see us succeed. But yeah, that's and if you're not happy with that, get me on Discord, and again, I promise we'll help you find a place that you will be happy with. But again, thank you guys for having me on.
I thought you were going to say, and if you're not happy with that, I got 2 words for you. So, Champions Chat community, I got 2 words for you: smash gems. We're out.